Need to just record like an intro explaining what this is. Mm-hmm. What can we call it? Waffling.
That is I think that's Peter Crouch's one or something like that. No, Joe Weller.
Is it?
Waffling. Yeah.
Is it really? Palaverous.
Palaverous. What does that mean?
I don't know. Diffuse, it means. Wordy.
What are you two doing?
Just recorded a podcast.
A podcast?
We're recording right now, actually.
No.
Yeah. See definition of palaverous. Profuse and idle talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Palaverous.
Or palavering. Welcome to Palavering.
Welcome to Palavering, some idle talk between father and son.
Don't take anything too seriously.
Hope you enjoy.
You feel like you've hurt a nerve?
Yeah.
Oh, have you hurt a nerve?
I don't know, I can only feel it now.
In your leg?
Yeah, it's like not quite on my leg, it's like in between my leg and my bum, like on my backside.
Alright. Your glutes, I think they're called glutes.
Yeah, it's not quite that high though. It's like right where they meet. Like when I twist my leg to the side, it hurts like a nervy pain.
Ah, funny that, isn't it? A nervy pain. Have you ever described a pain as being a nervy pain before?
No, but I've heard Mum describe her pain as being like that.
What, nervy?
Yeah, in her back, I think. Or it might have been you, in your back.
Not that I really know what a nervy pain is.
But I can understand why you'd say that, if it is the same feeling.
As opposed to, what, like a muscly pain?
Yeah, like it's not a muscle that's hurting, it's definitely something...
Nervy.
Yeah, nervy.
How did you do it, do you know?
Nah.
Just generally twisting.
Could have been while I was putting the washing on the line.
Oh, you put the washing on the line, did you?
Yeah.
Wow. Is that a regular thing you do?
Not particularly, no. That's probably why it happened.
Maybe, yeah. Thank you for doing it anyway.
It's alright.
It's difficult, especially with the big washing.
Yeah.
Throwing it over the
Hit my glutes.
over the line. I haven't got any glutes anymore. I think I lost them in my 30s.
Yeah.
I used to have glutes
Did you?
when I worked out, yeah.
You worked out.
Worked out a lot,
I saw your six-pack, yeah.
yeah. And but then they've gone now. I would like them back, kind of,
I'll keep.
not sort of Kim Kardashian kind of glutes, but just manly glutes. I would like some nice manly
David
glutes
Beckham
back.
glutes.
Well, I've never noticed David Beckham's glutes.
There's a photo that I saw a few years ago, and I can remember it vividly. And he's at like an award show or something, and he's wearing a suit, and the trousers are very well been tailored around his bum. And he's got a very manly bottom. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind a pert bottom. I think, though, to get it, you have to enjoy squats,
Yeah.
doing the squats.
Not too difficult though.
Well, I always hated the squats. Isn't it the worst exercise? Don't people say it's the worst
I
exercise?
quite enjoy squats.
Do you?
Yeah.
When have you done squats?
Upstairs.
I haven't got any weights.
We do. Got the dumbbells.
Oh, we've got the dumbbells.
Do squats with the dumbbells.
Okay, yeah. I get that. I do remember, though, when I used to work out in the days, that I hated squats.
Why?
Because it hurt. It hurt more than anything else.
And then you're doing them wrong.
And I think possibly because you can't... It's the biggest muscle, isn't it? Your
Gluteus maximus.
no, well, your glutes and your quads
Yeah.
are the biggest muscles, and therefore I think they produce the most pain, I would assume.
I don't know if that's how it works.
Anyway, I didn't like them anyway, and maybe that's why you know, no pain, no gain, and I didn't put the pain in, and they've atrophied.
Yeah.
so that's good. So we've talked about glutes.
Mm-hmm. Glutes.
We ought to just make mention that our dog, Mino, M-I-N-H-O, is in the room, and so if there is any clicking, it's just the pitter-pattering of Cocker Spaniel feet. So, somehow, we've built a hospital in a week.
We have.
Well, British people have garnered themselves together and have turned the London's Excel Centre into a hospital, NHS Nightingale.
I think it's the biggest one, is that right? If they get all the beds in, that is.
4,000 patients.
It's impressive, isn't it?
Yeah, because you would have thought, if someone had said, hey, we're going to build a hospital in a week, 4,000 people, I would have thought, that's China. China's done that.
Oh, they probably have.
Well, they probably have, but what you wouldn't think is, hey, Britain's done that, would you?
No, but we haven't actually built a physical building, have we? We've just repurposed one.
That's true.
But I think, do you know that one in Wuhan, when it, first month after it broke out, they built, a physical, from the ground up hospital.
Okay, so the Chinese, they still have one up on it.
They do, yeah.
So what we've done is kitted out an existing building.
Yeah.
With beds and all the...
it's still impressive.
It is really impressive, all the medical paraphernalia needed and all that for 4,000 people. But China actually built a brand new building from nothing.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay. Well, maybe someone could check that out and comment.
Well, I think we've done it more efficiently then.
By repurposing a building?
Yeah, because no one's going to conference centres, are they, when there's a pandemic? So it's a good use of its space to make it a hospital.
Sport, is it really? I wonder if they still... Have you ever been to the Excel Arena?
No, I haven't, no.
I wonder if it was just a blank floor space or whether it had sort of banked seats.
Well, by the looks of it, it was just one of the, exhibition halls. Okay. So I've been to the one in Birmingham. I can't remember what it's called now.
It used to be the NEC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a similar feel to that.
Yeah. I've been to the NEC
went to the
a couple of times.
Gadget show there.
Oh, that's right. We went to the Gadget show.
I went once with you, and then once with a friend the year before.
Oh, great. Was it better with me?
I don't really remember. Okay. I was probably about 7 or 8.
It was the bald bloke there with the big glasses.
Jason Bradbury.
Yeah. I would like to look like him.
You've seen him, I think.
I've seen him live in Lincoln, just walking around the street. Yeah. Not like in a show.
No, I
saw Jason.
We were all there as well, weren't we? But I don't think I saw him.
Yeah, he was just walking down a steep hill.
Yeah. And then you told me that you'd seen him.
Yeah, it was definitely him. It wasn't a lookalike. Well, there aren't many lookalikes of Jason Bradbury.
True.
But I would like to look like him.
Jason Bradbury.
Yeah, because I think he's my height, and he's bald, and he obviously needs glasses.
He doesn't have a beard, though.
Well, no, but I don't need to have a beard, do I?
I think
There's no reason why I couldn't, do a bit... Work out again, getting back to the glutes, aren't we? Work out again, slim down a bit, and look like him, because he could be like my physical role model.
He could. But I think a beard suits you better than clean shaven like Jason.
Yeah. Mum wouldn't agree.
Well then, she should have chose Jason Bradbury.
Well, that's not fair, is it? Anyway, how did we get onto him? Oh, the NEC and things like that.
Yeah,
the NEC, that's right, the Gadget show, the NEC, which we thought was a bit like the Excel Centre in London. I've played piano at the NEC.
In the main hall?
in the main hall, as it was.
Is that an AOG conference?
Now let me think. Was it AOG or was it an ecumenical conference? I played keyboards and nipped on the piano now and again, but Chris Bowater was leading worship.
I don't know who that is.
I beg your pardon. You don't know who Chris Bowater is?
No.
Chris Bowater is one of the godfathers of contemporary worship around the world. Chris Bowater and Graham Kendrick together make up the dynamic duo of worship leading.
I think he's probably a bit before my time.
He's still going now.
He's 73.
But yeah, he's on Facebook and still singing songs, and yeah. In fact, I came across he was singing an old song he wrote the other day. Fabulous. Yeah, he was one of the founders of what's called the it's called the One Event now. It used to be called Grapevine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so way back when, Chris Bowater kindly chose me to be in his band, and there I was playing second fiddle on the keyboards.
I assume he was playing piano also.
He was playing grand piano, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the speaker for the day was Reinhard Bonnke. You've heard of him?
Yeah.
Yeah, Reinhard Bonnke. And he was the speaker for the day. And I can't remember anything he spoke on, but I do remember this lady in the congregation jumping out of a wheelchair. She arrived in a wheelchair. She's called Jean. I think she was called Jean something. Her story's over Facebook, and I think there's a book being written about her. And it was either just after he preached or just before he preached. He prayed for healing, and this lady jumped out of a wheelchair. I think she was brought on stage to give a testimony, and then she did a lap around the floor space of the NEC.
Wow.
And I was there at the time.
That's impressive.
It was impressive. I must look up her name, actually, because I'm sure there's a video about it.
Jean
someone, I'm sure, yeah. So that was the NEC way back when, yeah. And I also went to the NEC way back when with Mum. I think we were just courting in those days, and we went to the motor show, or the motor show, the annual.
I remember the photos.
Can you?
Yeah.
I remember that very well. I met Dave Lee Travis then.
I don't know who that is either.
Dave Lee Travis was. Do you know? I have no idea whether he's still alive or not. He was
What's he called again? Sorry.
Radio 1 DJ.
What's his name?
Dave Lee Travis. He had a nice beard.
Yeah, he's still alive.
Is he still alive?
Yeah.
Sorry, Dave. Yeah, he was there. He did a set, and we watched his set, and then we saw lots of cars. I do remember we got lost. Me and your mum got lost in the van section, which seemed endless. We got in this room, vast room, full of like white transits, hundreds and hundreds of transits. It was the most boring half hour we've probably ever spent, and we just couldn't find a way to get to the Porsches or the Jags.
Was there anything
Aston Martins.
special about the vans?
No. They were just the latest white vans to be made by certain manufacturers.
Wow. Impressive.
Yeah. Anyways, but you've been to the NEC twice, you say?
Yes, both times for the gadget show, I think. No, I've been once more for like a careers event almost in year 11.
Okay. Right.
I think it was like an engineering thing specifically. So it was useless for me, but I learnt about some engineering companies. Yeah.
Anyway, so we talked about the NEC because of the Excel Centre, and we're assuming that the Excel Centre is...
Similar.
It's a London-based NEC,
Yeah.
isn't it? Okay. And because there's nothing going on there during this lockdown, the government just said, there's a space,
Yeah.
let's use it.
Well, I've heard the same things. I'm not sure if the exact same thing, but Man City have offered the Etihad for the use of NHS purposes, whatever that may be. I don't know what they'll do with it, but
Oh, wow.
I
That's
think
open air.
yeah. But I imagine it'd be their facilities as well.
Oh, okay.
I think
Have you been
Anfield.
to the Etihad?
No,
Wasn't that built for a game, like a Commonwealth Games or something?
I do not know. No,
Didn't it used to be called the City of Manchester Stadium? I can't remember it always being called the Etihad.
no, it definitely wasn't always called the Etihad. Apparently, the first major sporting event it held was the 2002 Commonwealth Games.
Yeah, I think it was built for that. I don't think it was built as a football stadium.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, built for the 2002 Commonwealth
Okay.
Games.
Yeah. So in that case, it will have lots of rooms around it. It's probably got a hotel built into it as well, or something.
Probably, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, well. So they've offered their...
The use of the stadium, yeah, to the NHS.
Wow. Oh, that's cool. Because they'll need more of these hospitals around the place, I think.
Yeah.
Good. You think Anfield will do that as well?
I thought I saw something that said something similar before the Etihad thing came out, but I'm just looking it up now and I can't really find anything about it.
Having said that, there's not much to Anfield, really, is it?
No.
It's sort of squeezed in there in the middle of a...
A block of council houses here.
Yeah.
And a park.
Well, are they council houses?
I don't know, the terrace houses.
Yeah. Is Anfield the name of the place in Liverpool? Anfield is the place, isn't it? It's not just the name of a stadium. It's the name of the...
I'd assume so, yeah.
Yeah, Anfield won't be much use really because we've been, and I don't think there's no hotel built into it. There's no big conference venues built into it. It's just
a stadium
a tiny little pitch.
with a park next to it,
Stanley Park
which also has Goodison Park next to that.
at the other side of it. Yeah, yeah.
Maybe if they combined them all as like
Well,
a joint.
Yeah, that's been a conversation in the past, hasn't it?
Has it?
I think so. Weren't they at one point, not too long ago, talking about closing Anfield and building a new stadium called Stanley Park?
I think I did hear that. But I think there's too much history in Anfield to consider knocking it down at this point.
Yeah, maybe so. Can you remember anything about the Anfield visit?
I can't remember anything about the actual stadium or any of the facilities there, but I can remember a fish and chip shop across the road, maybe, in the long row of terrace houses.
Did we go there?
No, I just remember seeing it.
That's really random. We didn't go to the fish and chip shop.
No.
So there's no sort of reminiscing of a particular smell or a taste or anything.
No.
You just remember seeing it.
I think it's
But
because
you can't remember seeing
Anfield.
the stadium or
No.
anything in it.
No.
Can't you remember me lifting you up and you touching the Anfields?
No. I think I remember it because I was probably thinking this isn't any different to Scunthorpe. This just looks like Cottage Beck Road.
Okay. And I must admit the stadium...
Doesn't look like it'd be on Cottage Beck Road.
No, it doesn't. But actually, once you're on the pitch, and of course it was empty, let's admit it, there was no one in the crowd.
Yeah.
It's just a tour we went on. I was quite unimpressed, really, because it's quite
It's
small.
not big, is it now?
Small.
Yeah.
Is it? It's one of the smallest, isn't it? Pitches.
I think so.
I think Chelsea's is maybe similar, really small, I think.
I think the
Stamford
smallest is Bournemouth's.
Bridge. Oh, is it?
Yeah. In terms of like both in capacity and actual pitch size, I think it's Bournemouth.
Yeah.
But in terms of pitch size, that's what we're on about. We're on about Anfield, not the actual like capacity.
There's obviously quite a big range allowed, isn't there, in pitch sizes?
It is like a really surprisingly big range. I remember looking it up. I can't remember the exact dimensions of it, but they're really lenient with the pitch sizes.
Yeah. So if you were like a long throw expert,
You'd want
would
a
love
narrow
these
pitch.
short pitches, wouldn't you? These narrow pitches.
Well, Liverpool are pretty good with their throw-ins, but our pitch isn't particularly narrow, I guess.
Football clubs with smaller pitches ought to employ smaller players.
Maybe they do. And we just don't know. Because why would we know that? That's the management's knowledge.
Well, yeah, to be fair, I don't know. I don't know all the heights of different players. But you know, sometimes you look at some teams and you think, wow, they're massive.
Yeah, like...
I mean, Liverpool played someone recently. I can't remember who it was. They played a team recently, and I looked at them and I thought, they're massive.
It's probably going to be like Burnley.
Maybe. And we just look tiny. Maybe Liverpool do that. Maybe Liverpool...
Get smaller players, because we've got a smaller
like
pitch.
Little tiny Salah. He's tiny, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, he's not... Like, he's absolutely built, but in terms of height, he's not particularly tall. Yeah.
No. No. I mean, gone are the days of Crouchy and the other fellow we got from Geordieland. Who was he? Long hair, really tall.
Andy Carroll.
Andy Carroll. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not going back to those days, are we?
No.
Those days seem to have gone.
The thing is,
I think the real reason is they could have hardly got up to speed before they reached the end of the pitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is fair to say, isn't it, that even though I've been nearly a lifelong Liverpool supporter,
yeah,
I know next to no facts about Liverpool over the last 3 decades.
I wonder if it's like your knowledge has just been spread apart over that time, whereas like my knowledge is quite dense in terms of the timeline in which I know it, because I've only been like a proper Liverpool fan over the past 5 years or whatever.
Yeah, you've got quite dense knowledge.
Within this 5 years, and then you've got the same amount of knowledge. It's just spread out over 40 years.
So I've got like a signed shirt by Kevin Keegan.
Yeah.
Framed. And I could probably tell you a relative amount of information about that kind of era.
I could tell you minimal about them.
Yeah. But of course there's been a lot of history since then, and I really should know more, because I do tell people I'm a Liverpool supporter. And then what I tend to do, if they engage me in conversation then about Liverpool, and many people do, I just make it up. I just flag and pretend. I say vague, general kind of statements.
You can do that now and get away with it, because we're just at such a great point in our history where, like, if you just say positive things about the team, people will just agree. But if you had the same conversation 10 years ago, you would just get confused.
Yeah.
Because we were just an awful team back then.
Well, we weren't awful. We've never had an awful team.
I don't know. In Roy Hodgson's few years with us, we were abysmal.
Was Gerrard playing for us then?
Yes.
He was, wasn't he?
He was.
He was captain even.
There's a conspiracy theory that, so in one of the final games before Hodgson got sacked, there was a penalty and Gerrard was over it, of course. Mm-hmm. And Gerrard missed the penalty, which of course no one expected. And then soon after, Hodgson got fired. And apparently the rumour is that Gerrard purposely missed the penalty because he knew that it would get Hodgson fired.
No way.
Yeah.
No, Gerrard's not like that.
Well,
He's a nice fella.
at that time you were owned by Gillett and Hicks, who
And Hicks.
yeah,
Yeah.
who pretty much every Liverpool fan will agree that they were awful owners, and they were just trying to bring us down from
I'm sure they were very nice people.
I don't know them personally,
No.
but in
Let's
terms of
just get
their
that out there.
management,
As people and fathers and husbands and
yeah, I'm sure they were lovely.
great chaps. But as owners of Liverpool football,
They weren't particularly good, and this also happens to be when we were owned by Hodgson, or managed by
owned
Hodgson.
by Hodgson?
Yeah, managed by Hodgson. But around this time, we were like massively in debt to the point where we were looking at getting liquidised and doing like a Portsmouth and getting relegated all the way down to like League Two or whatever.
Yeah, not liquidised.
That's the right word, isn't it?
I don't think so. You can go into liquidation, but I've never. heard
And the
anyone
process
actually
of
say,
being
"Let's
liquidised.
liquidise the club."
Is a word.
I mean, maybe so. Maybe so. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you
I guess if organisations can go into
liquidisation.
liquidisation,
They were being liquidized.
being
liquidized.
yeah. Because that would have been a shame if Roy Hodgson was liquidised. Well, there must have been. I mean, there were obviously star players during that period. They just weren't allowed to flourish.
Yeah.
Maybe like your Gerrards and your.
Torres.
Oh, was Torres there then?
Yes.
Torres the Bull.
And then,
He was supposed to be our saviour, wasn't he?
well, he sort of was.
Well, he didn't hang around for very long. Oh, we got rid of him, didn't we?
Yeah, he went to Chelsea.
And then didn't do anything at Chelsea.
Not consistently.
No.
Chelsea do appreciate Torres because
Do they?
otherwise they wouldn't have won as many trophies as they did in that period.
If a crowd appreciates a football player, what do they do? They're just like a little gentle cat.
Well, I appreciate like
We
Coutinho.
appreciate you, Torres. What do they shout? Chant, wouldn't they?
We appreciate you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I'd say I appreciate Coutinho for what he did at Liverpool while he was here. I don't particularly.
Was Coutinho the biter?
No, that's Suarez.
Oh, that's Suarez. Suarez was the biter.
There's also another conspiracy theory about Suarez
Okay.
that every time he bit someone,
Yeah.
very shortly after he moved club.
Okay.
So at Ajax, most people don't know this, but at Ajax he bit someone before then as well. So it wasn't the first time he bit someone when he bit Ivanovic.
He was a serial biter.
He was a serial biter. And so at Ajax he bit someone, and then very shortly after he moved to Liverpool. And then at Liverpool he bit Ivanovic, and then very shortly after we nearly sold him to Arsenal.
Okay.
He's injured, but
Is
it's
he
not like it
still-
matters.
Is he bitten anymore?
He did after that, so
Did he?
that's when we sold him. So he bit Chiellini in the World Cup, I think.
Right.
And so obviously we weren't playing because it was the World Cup.
Yeah.
But we weren't going to sell him. It was literally his best season that he'd ever had, the season before for us. And then he bit Chiellini, and then we had no choice but to sell him.
Well,
Barcelona bought him, and then he arguably had a better 3-year stint there than he ever did with us.
well, yeah. It's funny how some clubs suit you, isn't it? You wouldn't want to nowadays in the season of pandemia.
Be biting anyone.
You won't want to bite anyone, would you? I mean, that would be.
I mean, you wouldn't want to anyway,
That must
especially now.
That must be an arrestable offence. If you, no, surely it must be.
I'm sure it was then. It's just the fact that he's on a football field.
Yeah.
That it's not an arrestable offence.
But now it would be if he bit anyone now.
I don't
If you're
know.
in a pandemic, that would be it. Anyway, maybe we should end this banter today. But talking about our health workers, I guess, whether you're looking after people who've been bitten or whether you're working in this new Nightingale hospital. We just want to say thank you You're amazing. And you deserve all the rounds of applause every week. And putting yourself on the front line. There are many people we know, many people who work in the NHS who come to our church, Joseph.
It's true.
And out there, in fact, your girlfriend's father
And mother.
and mother,
Are both nurses.
both nurses, yeah, working right in the thick of it.
Yeah. I do believe the father is working
In
right on the
ICU.
front line. Yeah, literally.
In ICU,
With-
seeing the worst of it.
With positive patients.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, thank you, everyone. We value you. Amazing. Thank you for coping with our little bit of nonsense banter today. And we'll do more. God bless you.
Bye.